So my name is Rindy Zastro, and I am the Director of Program and Events at Shining Stars Foundation. Actually, this started way back in 1984 as the Sunshine Kids. So Hal O'Leary, who's the founder of the NSCD, which is the National Sports Center for the Disabled, and Kathy Gingery, who is our CEO and founder, would bring groups of kids out here to Aspen, to Buttermilk, to ski as part of the Aspen Winter Games. And then when Sunshine Kids stopped doing a winter program, they realized that there was still an unmet need. And so since 2001, we have come to the Aspen Winter Games as the Shining Stars Foundation. This year we have 70 kids out here. So that's about the number we get every year is 70. People sometimes think it's a little crazy that we take these kids who are really sick, some of them are still on treatment, and we bring them to Aspen, Colorado for a week of skiing and snowboarding. But really it's so much more than that. So they do ski and snowboard all throughout the week, but they also learn more about themselves, and they also bond with the other children, which we found is one of the biggest aspects of this program. So they often feel alone and isolated when they're in their treatment. Most of their friends are off doing sports or school, and these kids are in a hospital room and surrounded by nurses and doctors, and they don't feel like a kid anymore. So our goal when we bring them here to Aspen is to just let them be kids. So forget about the medical, have a pool party, do a disco dance night, go out skiing and snowboarding, and just remember what it feels like to be a kid again. Volunteers are truly the heartbeat of this organization. We have, just this week alone, over 250 volunteers out here. We've got ski instructors, we've got medical team, we've got Aspen buddies, and all of them donate their time and their energy to making this the best possible week for the kids. And truly, we have a pretty small staff, and so to be able to put on a program of this magnitude would be impossible without the support that we receive from this community and then from communities all around the nation.
So I'm Kathy Hinkle, and I'm a nurse from Phoenix, Arizona. I work at Phoenix Children's Hospital. I've been a peds oncology nurse my entire career, so, going on 30 years. And I think being able to see kids in this environment, not acutely sick, as I so often see them at work and in the hospital, getting to be kids, getting to just do normal kid activities is a real, it's just a bonus for me. That's a real personal satisfaction. And then I watch them create these new friendships with kids who understand exactly kind of what they've been through and the connections they make. And I've seen it now, being my 8th year, the connections don't stop after this week. They go on afterwards, and that's just really something pretty special. I have a boy here this year, and he has real balance issues. So he had a brain tumor, and he's in remission from that brain tumor, but he has a lot of balance and vision issues. So he sees double, and he has a lot of difficulty walking. And they put him in a sit ski, which is challenging to use. I mean, I've never used it, but I look at it, and you're on a ski, and you're sitting, and his balance is phenomenal. Like he has better balance on the ski than he does walking. And I just think how liberating, that has to be for him to have that freedom to be able to be out there moving on the ski almost better than he can when he's walking, and seeing the smile on his face, it's just like, I don't know who's happier, him or me. And as an oncology nurse, everyone thinks it's the most sad and depressing field. But this is why I stay in the career. This is watching them be able to go do really hard things. I mean, they've been through cancer treatment, they've done all that, but they come out here and they're challenged. I mean, these kids are exhausted after the first day. And watching them dig deep and push themselves and, just maybe giving them that pep talk saying, hey, we got to get out there and do it again. And then watching them rise to do that is so personally rewarding. It makes me think, hey, if I'm faced with adversity, I'm going to just take a lead from them and dig deep and go for it, So I get a lot of personal satisfaction, I have to admit, and we laugh a lot. At the end of the day, I get to just be a goofball, and who doesn't love that? I've taken kids here, and we've gone back to Phoenix, and they've relapsed. And I remember meeting with a girl in the hospital, and she was just, she had been here a month or two later, she relapsed, and I just remember telling her, remember what you did? Do you remember what you did in Aspen? You never thought you'd make it down, and you did. so guess what? You're going to make it through this, you know? And that just that little bit like, yeah, you know, you're right. I did something super hard. That I can do this. It plants that little seed of strength in them, and they remember how they felt, and it just, you know, it gets them through another hard time.
Nice.
Yeah. The flip side of that is the kids before I bring them. I had a boy this year I was supposed to bring, and he relapsed right before I was supposed to bring him. And I went and met with him in the hospital on Monday before we left, and I just said, hey, I'm sorry, you know. And he was kind of dejected, and he's like, I really wanted to go. And I said, then you're coming next year. So your job is to get through this treatment again and remember what's going to happen next March. And you and I are going to Aspen, and you're going skiing next year. And he had a big old smile on his face. You know, and again, there's the other side of it, that hope that, hey, I'm going to do that. You know, I can get through this because I have something to look forward to. It's powerful.
Definitely.
Shining Stars, it's become my family. You know, I've built personally just friendships through these committed people. You cannot walk through the doors and not just feel love here. It's just a really magical place, and the volunteers create that, and I'm really so proud to be a part of it.
I'm Christy Miller. I am a ski instructor, and I'm from Chicago. So I got involved in 2013. We had a family friend. They're also instructors, but our family was impacted by cancer, so they kind of brought us in as well. So I do this with my dad. And it's like the joy throughout the week that brings me back. It's so exciting to like see the kids really nervous on the first day, and then as the week progresses, they get so much more confident. So like earlier this week, I was working with a girl, and she was so weary the first 2 days, and then something clicked, and by the end of the second day, she was like begging to go back for more, and she was loving it. So it's fun to like see them come alive through skiing. Yeah. It's definitely hard to get them like excited at first because any new task is hard, especially something as hard as skiing. But you just kind of have to keep going back to, if you fall, you get back up. So even if they get tired, you sit down, take a little break, and then just like be that positive force and keep encouraging them and get super excited when they do like a little milestone, because that's what keeps like them excited and motivated. They like just like come into themselves, it seems like. So they're all like shy on the first day, and then by the end of the week they're just like firecrackers. My brother passed away from cancer, so it really like we do it in his memory.
My name is Bennett Curtis. I'm from Chicago, Illinois, and I'm a ski instructor. So I was a star back in 2013, and this is my third year as an instructor. So I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma in 8th grade, stage 2A. So I had tumors on both sides of my neck, underneath my left armpit, and then above my heart. I went through 4 months of chemo, 3-4 weeks of radiation, but I was declared cancer-free. So I've been cancer-free now for about 5 or 6 years. But yeah, I was approached at Lurie Children's Hospital where I was receiving treatment, and it just sounded like an amazing opportunity. So it's hard because you feel like no one gets you when you're going through something like cancer, another life-threatening disease. You feel like no one understands you. Your mom and dad, your friends, you feel like no one gets you. But you come to a place like this in an organization like this, and they just understand. They just get it, and everyone can relate. And it's honestly just the best week out of the year. I often felt like I had it worse than everyone else, and that's super easy to get that mindset. But I came here and I saw kids that had it so much worse than I did, and they had a smile on their face, and they're living life to the fullest. They're skiing, they're snowboarding, and they're having a great time. And so I just thought, why can't I do the same? Because here, you're not a kid with cancer, you're just a normal kid, It's super easy when you're walking through middle school and you have no hair. It's so easy to be labeled as the cancer kid, but here, you're just a normal kid. Exactly. As soon as I was done, I was like, I want to go back to that. I want to be a part of this in some way, shape, or form. So I got in contact with Dr. Larry as soon as I was done, and he said, well, you got to wait until you're 18. So I waited until I was 18. I got certified and everything. I'd been skiing all throughout high school at that point. But yeah, as soon as I turned 18, I was here, and I just love coming back because I'm just able to relate so much to the kids, and I'm able to have just very real, honest conversations about them with stuff that I know very well. Been going up on the chairlift, the kids are always picking my brain about my story, my past, my history. I mean, it's awesome. I've had students who had the same cancer that I did, and we went through the same sort of treatment, and it's just so nice to be able to help them and kind of provide some guidance. Honestly, my student this year, Sophia, you read their bio before you become their instructor, and you learn a little bit about them. And I knew she was a good skier, but I also knew she had this very severe condition. She lives here in Steamboat, but I mean, she was flying down the mountain. I'm just trying to keep up with her. So it's stuff like that, It's just this little 5 foot, 60-pound girl who's going through hell, and I'm just trying to keep up with her. Yeah, no, I mean, you're never told you can't. That's why the adaptive equipment is so huge, because if you can't do something or you have some sort of limitation, we're here to help you and make sure that you reach your goal.
She just said, for this week, I totally forgot I had cancer. And you just like the entire, it just was like everyone just was just stunned by those words, just right out of her mouth. Like she just got to really be a kid, For these kids, it's a gift. Yeah. They're sick so long, they forget what it feels like to be normal.